Yo, what up, y'all? So, One Piece chapter 1095 is out. Man, I feel like these chapters have been dropping earlier and earlier. But before we get into it, make sure you guys drop a like on the video. Let's run that algorithm up. And make sure you guys subscribe. We're almost to 400, guys. We are about 8 people away from 400. So, if you want to be in that 400 crew, make sure you guys hit that sub button. Hit the notification bell for notifications about One Piece videos on this channel. And you already know the catchphrase. Let's get straight into it.
Hey, listen!
So, the chapter picks up with narrator Sama telling us that Saint Saturn has landed on Egghead Island, and I gotta admit, this is a reaction that I never expected because all the Marines that are Vice Admiral and below are running for the hills. They don't understand why he came here, they don't even want him to be here, and they don't even really look at him as human at all. It's kind of surprising that the Marines have operated under this type of ruling the entire time. We see here that this is picked up right as Bonnie stabs Saint Saturn in the chest from the last chapter. The Marine Vice Admirals react to this, say, hey, hold up, hell on, Bonnie, that is a world leader, you can't do that. But it turns out that Saint Saturn doesn't care at all. He uses his eye powers and he paralyzes Bonnie. He tells them, fools, if I didn't want to get stabbed, I would have just dodged it. As he has Bonnie in his grasp now, Sanji gets ready to prepare and attack, but Sanji is also paralyzed by his gaze. With Sanji down, Saint Saturn pulls the sword out from his chest and his wounds instantly heal. Yo, this man Saint Saturn is a different kind of being that we have not come across before in One Piece. This boss battle is going to be absolutely insane. And even on the next page, when the Marines attempt to use this opportunity to capture Vegapunk, this man Saint Saturn is telling them, listen guys, don't worry about it. You don't have to move that fast. I've got the situation under control. He even looks to Kizaru, who is down on the ground. He's immobilized right now after his fight with Luffy. He says, yo, even your work took a little bit longer than it usually does, Kizaru. What's going on? And Kizaru responds by saying, I'm sorry, I really have no excuses, but this fight was really difficult. This man Saint Saturn is in a different tier. He's even talking down to a military sentinel admiral like Kizaru, who has always gotten the job done. He's telling this man, hey man, you were pretty slow this time. Is everything okay? Like, this man Saint Saturn is a different breed. Meanwhile, Saint Saturn says, listen, I understand why it took you a little bit longer, and he turns to Luffy, who is conscious, but he's in his old man form. He's drained after his Gear 5th fight with Kizaru, and he attempts to stomp on Luffy with one of his spider legs, but Frankie comes in right in the nick of time and uses strong right to punch Luffy out of the way. Poor Luffy. He then uses his arm to grab Luffy and bring him back in. He's like, yo, this is crazy. Even the world government is after my captain. Frankie, you were there when Luffy burnt down the flag at Enies lobby, bro. You know these people are after Luffy, bro. Stop playing. And here's where Saint Saturn really starts to take the piss out of the Straw Hat crew, because he's saying, listen, Straw Hats, Bonnie, you guys were unexpected. You guys were not a part of this plan. However, it doesn't matter because I'm here now. You're surrounded by the Marines on a marine island. There's no chance for escape. So if you do escape, I would like to see it. He's really testing fate. But if it's one thing that we know, one thing you don't do is test fate with a D-Clan member. Fate is always on their side. But Saint Saturn continues to talk down to them. He turns to Vegapunk then and he says, to you, Vegapunk, thank you for all your services. It's a shame that you betrayed us, so we have to kill you. But let me know, who do you want to die first? Of course, you guys are going to have to die painfully because you have to be an example, but that's not our fault because every time we tell you humans not to do something, you always do it. This man, Saint Saturn, is definitely inside his own head. His ego is over 9,000, and I am loving the big bad boss vibes that I'm getting from this guy. He starts to squeeze the life out of Bonnie, and at this point, Frankie and Sanji are asking if anybody can move, but nobody can move. They're all paralyzed by his gaze, and Vegapunk deduces this must be some sort of devil fruit power because it's not anything scientific. Bonnie's able to gasp and get a breath together to tell tell Saint Saturn that she knows that he was the one that ordered Kuma to be turned into a human weapon. Essentially, he was the one that killed her father. And Saint Saturn responds to her and says, "Oh, Kuma? Well, I mean, he was born a slave. He was born as a remnant of a race that committed a grave crime, so therefore we know how the Gorosei and the Tenryubito treat their slaves, so this shouldn't come to any surprise to us." However, Bonnie doesn't know Kuma as a slave. Bonnie knows Kuma as a king, so of course she's pissed off. On top of that, this being her own father. At this point, we get a flashback in tandem of what's going on in current time. Bonnie flashes back to words that Kuma has spoken to her. He's saying that ever since he was a child, he always wanted to be a hero. Just like the warrior Nika, he wants to set everybody free. This is all while Saint Saturn is holding her up to be executed by the Marines, by the way. Like right now, all the Marines are taking aim at Bonnie's head. But the flashback continues, and she asks Kuma, "Will Nika be able to free me as well?" And with a smile, Kuma responds, "Of course he will." And right before they pull the trigger, we cut a Kuma flashback, literally the birth of Kuma. I just want to say that this is definitely setting Luffy up to jump back into his gear 5th form and save Bonnie, and I think it's gonna be awesome. I'm just putting that out there. Anyways, so 47 years ago, Kuma was born to a human woman and an extremely large father with special blood. The doctor here makes a comment that says Kuma is extremely large as well, but the father makes sure to tell the doctor, "Hey, listen, about his blood, can we just keep that under the table? Can't we just keep that a secret?" And the doctor says, "Of course, we don't want to sell you out here. We're going to keep that a secret." But word gets out. The world government had people in the doctor's office clearly, and they have eyes and ears everywhere, and people find out that Kuma has the blood of the Buccaneer race. This is a new race of people that Oda has introduced to us in this chapter, so I am pretty excited about that. From here, we see that Kuma and his dad and his mom were all sold into slavery to the Tenryubito, and their life just got turned into an ever-living hell from there on. Kuma and his parents were therefore forced to do slave labor under threat of death by the Tenryubito. His dad was trying to cheer him up, even though his dad was crying on the inside, and it eventually goes on till his mother has passed away. At this point, Kuma is breaking down because he just doesn't understand why his dad is so upbeat and happy, but his dad is telling Kuma a story of the sun god Nika. It's the warrior god that makes everybody smile and sets them free through dancing and laughter to the rhythm of what is presumably his own heartbeat. At the end of this story, a Tenryubito comes in and shoots Kuma's father in the head right in front of Kuma. I mean, damn, this is so sad, guys. This man's Kuma's life was super duper tough, and this is why we saw Bonnie crying when she reached the end of her journey in the memories that Kuma left behind. From here, we cut to 38 years ago, and apparently 38 years ago, the Celestial Dragons used to take part in hunting parties where they'd go to a specific island and hunt slaves or hunt indigenous people. Well, this year it's set to take place on none other than God Valley. They're gonna be hunting the indigenous people of God Valley and the slaves that they set to be released on the island. First of all, I just want to say this is crazy because one of the indigenous people is literally a king, and I believe to be a celestial dragon named Saint Minos, and they kill him too. He's like, hold the hell on, you guys. This is my island. Like, why do we have to do it here? But before he can even get a word in edgewise, he's cut down by none other than Saint Garling Figureland. This is Shanks' presumed dad or father, and he's way younger. He's a lot more suave, a lot more handsome. You see the ladies all love him in the background, and he's participating in this hunting party as well, except he just killed the king, so now he has a 10,000 point advantage over all of his opponents. This is a sick world that they are living in One Piece, I must admit. We see them set slaves free, and yeah, all the Tenryubito, they go hunting, and we even say that they get a report here, Saint Saturn, saying that they caught the child from the Buccaneer race. So they even caught Kuma. Kuma down and captured. He stares up at the top of a rock formation, and he sees none other than an extremely young Emperor Ivankov striking a pose, and he is joined by another slave named Ginny, who seems to be indulging in a piece of chicken. Ginny is a new character, so we'll see if she has any significance, but they are looking down at the situation with Kuma, and they are saying, hey, I see that you're the main prize this year, and it's because you're part of that Buccaneer race with the special blood, special giant blood. So Ivankov clarifies that the Buccaneers have giant blood in them. And Ivankov goes on to say, listen, you guys can all look defeated if you want, but I plan on living. So what about you, Kuma? And this is where the chapter ends. I can assume that in the next chapter, we will see Ivankov and this girl, Ginny, help Kuma escape the clutches of the world government that he's been caught by on this hunting party. But that is the end of the chapter, guys. We are going on break next week, although we have a lot of stuff to talk about, so don't worry. It's going to go by pretty quick. But tell me, what do you guys think about this? What do you guys think about Kuma being a part of the Buccaneer race, a race that has giant's blood in them? It's becoming very clear that the Nika legend, Joy Boy, and all of those things are definitely revolving around the giant race. So Elbaf is just becoming more and more and more important. So let me know what you guys think about that. Of course, let me know what you guys think about Saint Saturn and his badass powers. I guess he has the powers of the Ushioni or something like that. You guys let me know down in the comments below. Of course, this is your boy Seafood That Guy speaking to you live. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, stay safe, stay healthy, and I will catch you guys next time. Peace.